Hello, and I have an awkward equipment setup for today. Hello, and welcome to the Daily Space for today, Tuesday, December 17th, 2019. I am your host, Dr. Pamela Gay, and I am here to put science in your brain. Today's news focuses on our history of our universe's star formation. This is one more instance of astronomers finding novel ways to do science initially planned for JWST, but using other instruments on or above our world. Massive stars put out the bulk of their light in the ultraviolet, and our universe's expansion stretches this light out, pushing it through the visible light spectrum and all the way out to the infrared and radio. If successfully launched, JWST will be able to detect this early light. But today, astronomers are impatient, and they're turning to ground-based radio dishes to get, well, a start at this early universe science. Our big picture understanding describes a universe where star formation started a few 100,000 to a million years after the Big Bang, with the first galaxies appearing to be established a few 100 million years after the Big Bang. The universe continues to evolve, lighting up as galaxies quickly evolve toward well-established morphologies, with peak star formation occurring 2 to 5 billion years after the Big Bang. In our universe's more than 13 billion year history, the structures established in those early eons formed the gravitational foundations around which everything we see today has gathered. While we had seen hints of the most massive of these early structures with radio and infrared telescopes, we haven't been able to see the smaller, more typical systems until now. The Meerkat telescope in South Africa is one of the most sensitive radio telescopes ever built, and it recently used its array of 64 dishes to peer at, well, the most radio dark area of the sky to see if it could detect the faint young galaxies that should fill that sky. The detectors on these dishes were specifically tuned to detect the light of short-lived massive stars that only lived 30 million years, making it possible for the scientists to filter their view to only see star-forming galaxies. After combining 130 hours of observations of an area just 5 times the size of the full moon, they discovered tens of thousands of starbursting galaxies shining during the peak period of star formation 8 to 11 billion years ago. And that star formation peak was even brighter and more active than previously predicted. This work will be published in the Astrophysical Journal and was led by Tom Mouch. Meerkat is an amazing radio array, but it is only a precursor of the instruments that are yet to come. In the coming years, a global consortium of nations and institutes will be building the Square Kilometre Array, or SKA, in southern Africa and Australia. This continent-spanning instrument will provide increased sensitivity and resolution, making it possible to see even more details of our early universe. Now, Meerkat is not the only game in town. In Chile, the Atacama Large Millimeter Array is also observing the radio sky. This different facility has different capabilities, and one of its strengths is detecting different elements. In a new study coming out in the Astrophysical Journal, a team led by Seiji Fujimoto studied the region around young galaxies that were also observed by the Hubble Space Telescope. The light from these systems was released just 1 billion years after the Big Bang. They found that the cloud of material surrounding these galaxies was already rich in carbon at this early time. This means that 1 billion years after the Big Bang, stars had already been born, lived, and died in ways that released these newly formed carbon atoms back into the universe to be recycled into new stars. The amount detected is more than previously expected. According to Rob Iveson, the director for science at the European Southern Observatory, energetic jets and radiation from supermassive black holes in the centers of the galaxies could also help transport carbon outside of the galaxies and finally to throughout the universe. We are witnessing this ongoing diffusion process, the earliest environmental pollution in the universe. Looking across the universe, we can see how things evolved by looking at light that has traveled for more or less time. By looking at a variety of systems across the history of the universe, we begin to get a sense of how things change. But these diverse snapshots aren't always enough to put together the detailed movie we want. In looking at our own galaxy, it has been assumed that across its history, star formation had churned along in the center of the galaxy at a regular pace. But new results published in Nature Astronomy find that isn't actually the case. Rather, it now appears that 90% of the stars formed at least 8 billion years ago, while another 5% of the stars formed in a second burst 1 billion years ago. To get at this new understanding, astronomers needed to be able to both peer through the gas and dust between our solar system and the center of the galaxy, and to also be able to resolve individual stars in this incredibly dense region. This is possible using the new HAWK-1 instrument on the 8-meter Very Large Telescope in Chile. Once light from the individual stars could be separated, it was possible to plot the stars in a color magnitude diagram and see if the distribution of stars was consistent with continuous star formation or with star bursts. The results are striking, and the question now becomes, what happened to drive these two discrete events? Science is a process. We're constantly striving to answer the fundamental questions of how did it all start? How did it change over time? And how will it all end using imperfect and partial data? With time, our data improves, and with each new data set, we must refine the story we tell to reflect our new understanding of reality. It's a process. And with today's new results, we can see everything grind one more step closer to true understanding. And that rounds out our show for today. This has been The Daily Space, and we are produced by Susie Murph and are a product of the Planetary Science Institute, a 501c3 nonprofit dedicated to exploring our solar system and beyond. During the month of December, we are doing a massive fundraising drive to ensure not just this show, but all of CosmoQuest's nonprofit programs can thrive in 2020. You can help us out by tuning into our 40-hour telethon, our hangout-a-thon, this coming weekend. And you can also donate via streamlabs.com/CosmoQuestX. So I will now take your questions, and I just ask you please to precede your questions with that purple circle with a purple star in the center to make it easier for me to find them. Okay, so now I still haven't unpacked my Stream Deck. Oh, thank you so much, Tom Van Scooter. I have 2 doggos, one of whom will come on camera, the other of whom is looming up off camera. Come here. There we go. Such a good boy. Both Malachi and Eddie came down this morning, but only Eddie is this forthright. Thank you so much for the raid, Comic Girl. Come on up. Here you go. Here you go. Okay. So let's see what questions you all have for me today. I apologize for the very loud mouse noise. Good morning to you, Veronica Cure. Hello, Broken Symmetry. Lurking is always welcome. Hello, Larry Weird. Hello, Ironheart. Hello, Susie Murph. Hello, Wayne Johnson. Hello, Magnus. I need to be wearing glasses. Thymer, I think that's what that says. Magnus Thymer. I'm sorry about the audio level. I hope it's better now. So Squish Chin asks, when is the Soyuz launch with the telescope happening? Has there been an update? Last I checked, right before I went live, they have still not said what their new launch date and time will be. As soon as we know, we will let you know. Hopefully it will be at a friendlier hour. This morning's scheduled launch was at a time none of us here at CosmoQuest really wanted to be awake. Yes, the initial image that I showed is a radio image. Let me switch back to that. So there is a radio image of thousands of galaxies as seen using Meerkat. It's really an amazing image. Okay. So Hanny's Ververb asks, how close together were stars and galaxies back then? Were the stars a normal distance, but the galaxies right next to each other? Sort of. That So the closest galaxies today are closer, and the furthest galaxies today are farther. What has happened is, well, the galaxy has grown, but the other thing that's happened that really matters is things have clumped up more. So when the universe first formed, there's a much smoother distribution of material. And over time, all of that material has gravitationally glommed together, falling into the highest density regions, forming a lattice structure of walls and superclusters and voids in between. So everything changed. And I apologize for the insane puppy on the first floor barking her fool head off. There is snow falling from our roof, and she's deeply offended by this. Okay, continuing on. Oh, we need to have a launch bot. We do. Let's see what other questions we have. Yeah, it's Cheops, not Cosmos. Thank you, Tom Van Scooter, for the sub for 19 months. Thank you. Hi, I know I said thank you. You already got a treat. Eddie is looking very, very, very hopeful. It's okay, Kevlar. You can always go back and watch the beginning on voice video on demand. Yes, this morning's launch was scrubbed an hour and a half before it was scheduled to go due to an issue with the launch vehicle. It's true, Susie. Malachi has been a Velcro dog ever since I got back from our 9-day grand adventure. He's very, very concerned about my disappearing. Okay, good, Larry. I'm glad to know that the audio is better. It was originally scheduled to be a super early morning launch for us here in the United States. We're still waiting to hear when it ends up going. We do need to make sure we have both lunches and launches around here. Oh, I'm glad you guys aren't hearing the puppy. She's, I guess, privately driving me crazy. Yeah, Chupan, it would be amazing if all of our snow-related problems went away by barking at them. Luckily, where I live in Illinois, while the temperatures sometimes drop and we do occasionally get snow, this time we got about 5 inches, it all melts. And so while our neighbors shoveled everything because they have day jobs that aren't in their own house, my husband and I both work from home. And I don't think we've shoveled anything other than our stairs in years. This may make us terrible human beings. But, yeah. Hello, Space Dive. So I seem to have caught up with everything in the chat. Oh, God, it shouldn't be 15C in Germany. Guido, I hope the cold comes to you. Yeah, when it's similar temperatures in Germany and Texas, something is really, really wrong. Yeah, Chupon, I also hit the driveway at good speed. All right. So This is a busy week around here as we prepare for our Hangout-a-thon. I am going to go work on scheduling tweets, working on press releases for Osiris Rex Bennu mapping, and a bunch of other awesome things that are coming your way. So, yeah. It's time for lunch. It's time to press go on the podcast. Please, any of you who are out there following along on the podcast, can you leave us reviews? Leaving us reviews costs you nothing except a few minutes of your time, and it means everything to people being able to find us. So please, I'm going to go do all the awesome things and prepare for this weekend. So thank you for being here. Once again, my name is Dr. Pamela Gay, and this is The Daily Space, brought to you by CosmoQuest X. Tomorrow, Wednesday, is Rocket Wednesday, when we will be bringing you highlights of all the things that went up or came down, hopefully as they were meant to. We are a production of the Planetary Science Institute, a 501c3 dedicated to exploring our universe and beyond. We are produced by Susie Murph, and we are here thanks to the generous contributions of people like you. So thank you, everyone. I'm now going to awkwardly, because I forgot to set up my Stream Deck, work on rolling the credits. And then I shall dash across the room and find someone to raid. Thank you, Wayne Johnson, for highlighting your message. Thank you so much. You are welcome. You're welcome. So wherever you are in the world, have a fabulous morning, evening, or afternoon. Recommend someone to raid, and I'll see you all on the other side. Bye-bye.